Not looking for casuals, looking for debate. Woo! Fluent versus chill versus everyone. Break it down till the best one wins. More fluent every time we talk, that's never ridiculous. Let us hear your thoughts walk.
Here they are. In effect.
The judges. Give it up for the judges.
In effect. Here they are.
Yeah. We're in mourning over here. We're in mourning. Losing 2 gold medal games to the Americans in our sport is crazy. Both gold medal games is crazy. Using one, we understand. Both, man.
They haven't won a gold medal in like 50 years. Give them something.
I know. I mean, yeah, but I mean, they got a
movie out of it too.
Hockey, still our sport. Still our sport. We still dominated the game. Just ended up losing. But
you know what? Hold on. Jay, I know the answer because we did this yesterday. In trivia question, ask them the question you asked me about the last gold medal the Americans won.
I'm pretty confident that they beat Italy in the gold medal game. They beat Russia in the semifinals to get to the gold medal game.
Semifinals, yeah. But Russia was such an overwhelming favorite.
Trivia question.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't bugging out because, as you were saying, Tone, I'm sorry.
No, now you ruined the whole thing.
Oh, I just read.
I think most again, like hockey followers know that. If you,
I had no idea.
I just
you
read.
thought it was gold medal game.
Did you know who? Did you know in 1980 who Team USA beat in the gold medal game?
1980.
In 1980, do you know who Team USA beat in the gold medal game?
The Miracle on Ice. You've seen the movie. Who did
Italy.
they beat?
Didn't we just say?
You just said Italy.
But most people would say they beat
this yesterday, and I don't follow hockey, and I'm like, Russia. They made a movie, and he's like,
they beat Russia in the
Russia
in the semifinal game. Yeah,
I had no idea.
They beat Italy in the gold medal game. Yeah.
I mean, that was also a time where I think Russia was the only team with professionals because they had like a weird rule where their pros were allowed, but every other country were sending amateurs.
I actually think only North America, both hockey and basketball, was the only 2 countries, Canada and US. When I say North America, we were the only 2 countries that didn't send professionals.
That's correct.
Because ours were classified as actual, I guess, pros, and other countries.
OG says they beat Finland in the gold medal game.
I thought it was Italy.
I don't know.
Everyone knew it was a semifinal, like the whole Russia thing. It's a semifinal. But yeah, what are you gonna do? We'll get them in another 4 years.
Stuff ain't working. Anyways, what's up, guys? I don't have. Do you guys have? Anyways, it's Fluent versus Chill versus everyone. Something till the best one wins. I don't. Do you know the words to that song, Laurie?
Yeah. We got to play it again now.
No, we're not. Chris. I think Chris is going to go first this time. Jalen is going to go last if we even get to him. Hopefully we have people who come in and want to debate something because Jalen showed up late for all of you that didn't know. So
I was in the wrong link. I was 100% on time. The link in the chat was not for this one. The link in the group chat on Telegram.
You're about to leave the chat unknowingly. Chris, my friend, it is time.
Sure. So this isn't really a topic at hand, but however it is, I still think it's a great debate because I think they're both of them have arguments to be first team All NBA. But I personally think they're the 2 best shooting guards in the NBA, and I want you 2 to debate who you think is the best shooting guard in the NBA. I'm pretty sure that both of you actually have this take, and you both disagree, but I could be wrong. But Chill, I'm going to have you debate on behalf of my guy Donovan Mitchell, and Fluent, I'm going to have you debate on behalf of Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
All righty. I like how this is going to start. Yes, sir. So I've been an advocate of Donovan Mitchell for the past like 5 or 6 years now. When we had this conversation about him and Devin Booker, I thought he was the best 2 guard in the game. Even when Devin Booker was in Phoenix, I didn't really think that Devin Booker did anything better than him. He's the only player in NBA history to be on the number 1 seed, lead that team in scoring, be second in assists, and be third in rebounding. And not only not getting the MVP votes, not make any All-NBA teams. That's ridiculous. That's never happened in NBA history. Before he did it and since he did it. That's number one. Number two, he in Cleveland is now having a career year, which is better than the career year that he had in year 2 when he actually should have made first-team All-Pro when both Luka Doncic and SGA made it, when they didn't make the playoffs. And his team made the playoffs, and he should have been first-team All-Pro that year. He had a career year at the long ball line. He had a career year from the floor. He had a career year at the free throw line. Well, this year, he's actually doing something very similar. This year, he's playing 33 and a half minutes a game. He's averaging 28 and a half a game, almost 30 a game, which is a career year. He's shooting 48% from the floor, which is a career year. Last time he did that was his second year in Cleveland when he should have made first-team All-Pro. In addition to him doing that, at the long ball line, he's shooting 37%, which is also close to a career year. As a playmaker, better pull-up jump shooter, one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. Stop and pop guy. I don't think we give him nearly enough credit for his ability to shoot gaps as a defender. I think Donovan Mitchell is one of the better on-ball defenders. His teams drop off when he's off the floor. Even though I don't like to use off-the-floor numbers, even though I don't like to use off-the-floor logic, because the best players, they are better. Their teams are better when they are on the floor. But when Donovan Mitchell is off the floor, this team takes a dip both offensively and defensively. When he's on the floor, they are much better offensively and defensively. I say all of that to say this team started out the season slow. They are now a half a game out of the number 3 spot, and that's largely due to how well Donovan Mitchell has been playing in terms of his efficiency. I don't think we give Donovan Mitchell nearly enough credit as the distributor that he's been this season. When I think about his ability in terms of his assist to turnover ratio, it's actually been really good this season. He's averaging almost 6 assists a game. With him averaging almost 6 assists a game, it could be 7 or 8 if guys were able to knock down open shots, because he gets guys a lot of open looks off the strength that his ability to score attracts so much of the defense. He's one of the smarter guys in the league that I've seen. I've stood on this logic for years now, and I'm standing on it. I think Donovan Mitchell is the best 2 guard in the game, and I think that we still have another year, maybe 2 more years, where we can have this conversation with him before guys like Anthony Edwards and other guys like that enter the conversation. But as of today, in 2026 in February, I think Donovan Mitchell is the best 2 guard in the game.
Literally 3 minutes on the dot. Perfect.
Oh wow, good job. All right, so here's the thing. Let's start with, because you started with stats. So this is what makes this conversation so much fun, because statistically they're super close. Let me give you the caveat, however, is that Anthony Edwards is younger. So he hasn't hit his prime yet, because he's still got a few years to catch up. I believe Donovan Mitchell is 29. And for those, we typically say your prime is that 28, 29 to the 32, 33. So Donovan is in his prime.
Sure.
And he is statistically just below a kid who hasn't hit his prime yet. So when you talk about numbers, yeah, Donovan Mitchell's scoring well. What, 28 points, I think you said? Well, Anthony Edwards is, I think, 29 point something. Let's call it 30. He's averaging 30. He's also averaging about 4 or 5 assists per game. He's rebounding the ball better, averaging, I believe, 5 point something per game. You obviously came ready with these stats. I did not come ready with these stats.
I didn't either, actually.
You have a better memory. All right, so he's averaging more points. He's averaging around the same assists. He's averaging around more rebounds. He shoots better from, you mentioned the field. Well, Anthony Edwards has a better field goal percentage than him. Donovan Mitchell shoots 37% from 3. Very important in today's NBA. Anthony Edwards is shooting 40% from 3. So now we're comparing a guy who's in his prime to a kid who isn't there yet. And statistically, the kid is actually just a little bit better. So what becomes the deciding factor? You're trying to glaze over the defense because that's a bit of his weakness. Well, I got the guy now who's averaging better numbers across the board and is the better athlete. And if you had to pick, is the better defender. So when we talk about who's the better player, I'm going to leave out all the other team stuff, because that's not the conversation. The conversation, who's the better player. So I'm going to go with the guy who's averaging better numbers, better percentages, and is the better athlete and better defender, because that's the better all-around player. I think that's 3 minutes right on the dot.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that too, Tone, because you're an advocate of not being a stat guy, especially when we're talking about better players, because I'm 100% confident that there's guys who average more points than other guys, and you won't say that this guy's a better scorer than this guy. I don't think that you think that Andre Drummond, who averages more rebounds than Shaq, is a better rebounder than Shaq, but because statistically he is, you would say that. So that's kind of a straw man's argument. But when we're talking about Donovan Mitchell on the defensive end of the floor, I actually was in Miami when Anthony Edwards came down here. Off the ball, Tone, he is terrible. Off the ball, I watch him. He is chilling. He has no idea where the basketball is. He has no idea where his guy is. Meanwhile, Donovan Mitchell, I watch a lot of Cleveland games, because I am invested in Donovan Mitchell because I think he's the best two guard in the game. I watch him shoot gaps a lot faster. I watch him more engaged. That is largely due to the fact that he's playing with a guy like Evan Mobley, who's one of the better, if not the best defender in the game. So I think that he's a little bit more aggressive. You would think that that would be the same case with Anthony Edwards, only except it's not. He isn't playing at that all-league defensive level, even the younger guy, the more athletic guy that he is. So I think that that's interesting.
Listen, stats are important as a piece of the puzzle. So, yeah, would I say one is just better than the other because that's all they have? No, I wouldn't. However, if I have a guy who's scoring more and is more efficient, right, so better percentages on everything, well, then, yes, then it is. Then it does matter. Then he is the better scorer. Like, if you're better at everything, then, yes, you're the better scorer. So Ant can do it inside, outside, and I think he's smarter. You mentioned Donovan Mitchell. Well, he's smarter because he knows he has Rudy Gobert behind him, probably the best defensive big right now. I guess we're going to say if he's got 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, so we can't fight it too much. That's maybe a debate for another day. But he could be more aggressive and he could go, but instead he plays smarter basketball and he doesn't take as many chances, which is why he doesn't get his beat as often as Donovan Mitchell. That being said, again, I'm going with the guy who's, like I said, better defensively. He's 24 and has less turnovers. And I know you don't like stats now because they don't work in your favor. However, less turnovers. So the 24-year-old better with the ball than the 29-year-old. So now I've got the better offensive player, the better defensive player, and the guy who's safer with the ball and plays smarter. Yeah, that's my guy. Is this? I don't know if that's Rockefeller or my time is up. Is this
time?
That's 10. Okay,
I
never specified. This is 10 seconds. It's 10 seconds.
Shout out to the Illuminati, man.
I thought he was throwing the diamonds. That was the Rockefeller
it's the
diamond.
Illuminati sign, baby.
I've gone down a rabbit hole on TikTok, by the way. That's all I'm getting now. Is
who we sacrificing for that success?
Apparently, Gina Davis took over Selena Gomez's body, but that's another day. Sorry for another day.
I don't know what's going on right now, but
That was my debate topic. Oh, damn.
yeah, I have no idea what's going on right now.
All right, judges.
All right, Chris started off.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, not gonna lie. This is one of the tougher ones to decide. Yeah. Both you made great points. So Chill did a great job breaking down D Mitch's game as far as he goes for for his two-way ability and like saying that his defense is underrated, which I agree with. Fluent did a great job breaking down the stats as far as it goes for which one's more efficient. This one is nearly a toss-up, but with that being said, I'm probably gonna have to give the edge to Fluent here, mainly just because he focused a lot on the efficiency. Not sure if I agree with not sure if I 100% agree with the fact that Ant is that much better on defense, but we're splitting hairs here. But since you are
two guys, bro, like honestly, I honestly think it's a hair difference. Like it's this one.
Do you actually think that Ant is better? Because like I want to make sure that I said that correctly when I Jay and I have had this conversation before. We've never debated it, but he believes Donovan Mitchell is better. I am picking Ant better on the strength of the two things, because everything else is so close, just the athleticism and the age. Like if I had to pick one right now, I'm taking him because I got 5 years to catch up to where Mitch is.
You know what that sounds like to me, Jalen? That sounds like aesthetically he's more pleasing, like the younger, better looking chick right there. I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that you better. I'm just saying you the younger, better looking chick. That's what I'm going with, and I get it. And to be honest with you, I get it.
that.
And
Jalen-
because I see what you're looking at when I watch Anthony Edwards athletically, it's incredible. But when I watch Donovan Mitchell as a distributor, when I watch Donovan Mitchell as a ball handler, when I watch him navigate pick and roll, when I watch him
Stop trying
understand
to make
offense.
points now. Stop trying to make points now.
I mean, it's already over. I mean, it's already over. Right?
It's not over. It's not over because you know what?
They've already figured it out. But I understand. I understand what Tony.
I'll go second and give Chris the final vote here because I'm
100%.
I'm going with. So I thought both you guys did essentially the same job in describing each player's game. You know, their strengths, weaknesses. So I think that was just kind of a tie. I'm gonna go with Chill Town because I like Chill's rebuttal better. Bringing up how Fluent's history of him using the numbers now, but
That's
history
not true.
static. But hey, I think it's facts. I thought he broke it down. He broke down your argument that he used before. I like that, and they're bringing in the visuals of him watching Anthony Edwards being lazy on defense.
Yeah, I hate that actually.
Donovan Mitchell. Hey, shout out to the eye test, baby, because not all numbers. I'm gonna go with Chill Town. It's 1-1, baby. I'm gonna go with Chill Town. Or he can decide this one.
Real nice. Put the pressure on. Here we go. Drum roll, please.
I don't have a drum roll. Do you want me to download it? I'll download a drum roll next time.
We need that on the
That could be your drum roll.
It is going to be Chill Town Hoops.
No way.
OG. I honestly, it was super close because, like you guys said, the argument's super close. What I liked was Chill Town kind of dismantling the Anthony Edwards being so much better on defense, pointing out that Donovan Mitchell's defense was underrated. I think is a strong argument in his viewpoint. So I think that pushed me over the edge was that little tidbit there. So it was super close, but I give the edge to Chill Town.
Well, Tone, Tone is an advocate of this. I remember Tone, Denver came to town, and Tone told me he went to go see Joker, and specifically watched Joker. And
I literally watched the Nuggets game in Toronto, and I didn't watch any other part of the game because we were having this argument about Jokic's defense, and I was like, I didn't watch anything other than him. The whole time, whether he was on ball, off ball, on the bench, in the concession stands, eating popcorn, riding a horse, didn't matter. I just watched him, and it changed my perspective.
And you didn't like what you saw when you saw him. It's like, wait a minute, what you guys are talking about? And I did the same thing. I when I went down, it was in the beginning of January. We went down and saw the Heat play Minnesota, and I wanted to watch Anthony Edwards specifically on defense because I feel like he should be an all-league defender. I think because aesthetically, Tone, I see what you're looking at with him. Like the athleticism, him punching on guys, him with the basketball. It looks fantastic. But I'm watching him off the ball, like he's in the stands. He's not even looking at his guy. He's not a lot of this stuff that I'm watching him do on TV. When he gets in front of when he gets in front of me, it's not there at all. He's late in shooting gaps. He's late in rotations. And was it Miami? Because was he out the night before? I don't know. But I watched him on defense. And
he's one game.
He's a fourth quarter defender now. He's a fourth quarter defender. He turns it up in the fourth quarter, takes three quarters.
I'll say that being said, I think Donovan Mitchell is a much better human being if that weighs into your.
Yes, he is. Let's go Mets.
He gets the check mark there.
Shout out Coco.
All right. So just for the there's a couple people in the chat that want to join and have topics. So the way we'll do it is we'll do 2 topics, and then we'll open it up to you guys. So Ori with the glowing headphones. What you got?
Here we go. All right. So
player B crap either. Don't even.
Wait a second. No, I'm just kidding. These guys you'll know. Don't worry. No mysteries here. No mysteries. No blind rankings. But what I do want to know is if you had a situation where you have one ticket and you have the choice to go to any basketball game to see any player, I want to know right now at this very moment, would you rather see Victor Wembanyama or would you rather see Cooper Flagg? I want, just for the fun of it, I want Chilltown to be Victor Wembanyama, and I want Fluent to be Cooper Flagg.
All right.
How are you spending that ticket?
We've got a flip.
Oh, no.
We've got a flip. We've got a flip. Just for the record, your Jay, you're arguing for Victor Wembanyama. Ori is going to be arguing for Cooper Flag. And for the record, I would love to go see Victor Wembanyama. Jalen, if you want to come with me, Chill found tickets to the Raptors Spurs game. I think is it tonight? Oh no, wait, is it tonight or tomorrow?
28th, I think. I want to say the 28th.
For like $150. Row 5.
184.
Wow.
Like from row 4, like 184 American dollars.
But it's American, so it's like $400 Canadian. But anyway. Here we go. On my buzzer, you're going for Cooper Flag. You're starting with Cooper Flag.
What are we doing, Ori? Like,
What are we doing? Oh man,
what's going on?
All right. Anyway, well, okay. First and foremost, we gotta just take the bias into consideration. Now that I'm up here, I would have to buy that ticket because he literally grew up 45 minutes from where I live, right down the road. If you know anything about Maine, you know that any commute about 45 minutes long is just down the road. So, nonetheless, so we, when it comes to his actual what he can do on the court, right now we are witnessing the greatest 19-year-old basketball player that has ever played the game. And I know that sounds like hyperbole. I know it sounds ridiculous. But if you look at exactly what he's doing currently and what he's been at this last month, almost especially now that he's finally getting a learned curve, it's just he's dunking on people, he's blocking people, he's super athletic, he's super, like, his motor just keeps running. Like, this guy's bringing fresh energy, he's bringing like fresh ego, he's bringing that swagger back. He's playing like he wants to demoralize you, like he wants to demonstrably outperform you. And to me, seeing somebody that does that and plays that way, always putting up these highlights on a night-by-night basis, he's always in the top 10 list. He can shoot, he can pass, he can score, he can dunk, he can, I mean, he's an incredible defender. And he's 19. He's a 19-year-old kid. We are witnessing the worst version of Cooper Flag. And that's what we are seeing. So taking all that into consideration, I think that I would, despite the fact loving to see Victor Wembanyama, I'm not going to be ignorant to that. This is just the hand I was dealt. But I think that seeing this shooting star / comet that is Cooper Flag in itself is a prime time event, and I would very much like to be a part of that. I'm not sure how close I was.
No,
So
not even close, but Jay, I'm gonna, since he only went 2 minutes, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
So while I love the great hope, not the great white hope, but the great hope of Cooper Flag and everything that he can do, just so we clear, Victor Wembanyama, when he showed up, he was 19 years old, and he finished second in Defensive Player of the Year. There's some people who thought he should have won actual Defensive Player of the Year. But even with his ability on the court, first and foremost, I'm thinking about a 7'5" human. I want to just see what he looks like. I want to start there, Tone. I'd love to see just what he looks like in person, because I've never seen nobody that big before. Never in my life. I've seen Jabbar in real life. I've seen Shaq in real life. I've never seen anybody 7.5 feet tall. I even seen Yao Ming, but I seen him from far. To see Victor Wembanyama, I'd like to see what this kid looks like, to see that kind of motion, to see that kind of athleticism, and then to couple in with all of that, the skill set. And if you told me 40 years ago that, yo, Chill, you watching Ralph Sampson, just so you know, that's what basketball is going to look like 40 years from now, only except that guy is going to be dribbling between his legs and shooting the long ball. He's going to be leading the break like Ralph Sampson is doing. He's going to be doing all of those things Ralph Sampson is doing, plus he's got a better jump shot. I would have thought that you, not only are from the future, you was a nut. I would have not listened to a word that you said, only except that's actually what's going on with this guy. Everything that he looks like is advertised. His ability to block shots, his ability to shut down the paint, him looking like he's just bigger and faster than everybody else. He's the big kid in the yard with all of the small kids. That's what he looks like to me. And I would love to see that in person, to see how his game actually looks live, because it looks way different on TV. But when I see him up close, let's see how much let's see the kind of height that he gets on that jump shot. I want to see how easy it is for him to block shots. Does it look that easy on television as it does in real life? Does he handle the basketball that fluidly in real life? Because it's almost like watching an artist on TV. Like, what do they sound like in real life? And I feel like that's what Victor Wembanyama is.
Your time is up, sir. I'm going to give you a 15-second rebuttal, Ori.
Sounds good. Spicy take. If they were the same size, Cooper Flagg would be the better player. Cooper Flagg, I think, is more talented and does more things on the court at a higher level. Therefore, the more skill, the better view.
Interesting.
15 seconds to you, Chilltown.
Because if they were the same size, Vic would still be better, because I think that Cooper Flagg would have to adapt to being 7'5". Vic doesn't have to worry about doing that. Vic was already that big. I think that I think he would struggle with being that big. He would struggle in terms of athleticism. He would struggle in terms of ball handling, because he'd have to learn how to do all of those things. Vic, on the other hand, does all of those things already, and he's already good at all of them. So,
all right, that's time's up. We got, who would you rather pay to watch play, Victor Wembanyama or Cooper Flagg? Remember, it's not who you two or three of us would actually want to see play. It's who made the better points. This time we'll start with Jalen.
No, that's actually a really good question. I actually thought it was an interesting one too. Shout out Cooper Flagg, Wemby, both great. I really do like Cooper Flagg, big Duke guy too. In this debate, though, I'm definitely going to probably give it to Chilltown. I just think Ori was fanning out hard. He was just fanning out for Cooper Flagg a little hard. I think I want to hear more points about their game of like, how are they exciting versus having aura, excitement, dunking on guys, just like more details on the game and why he's better. I think Chill did that more, just kind of describing Wemby, his size, what he brings to the game, whether it be his handle, finishing ability at that size, seeing a person that large move. I think it's just kind of an experience in itself. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Chill on this one.
Yeah.
Real nice.
Stevie Wonder would pay to see Wemby over Flagg. So we got one vote for Chill. Chris.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Jalen said. It's the matter of who's overall the more entertaining player to watch, and I feel like Chill addressed that more. When Ori mentioned that Cooper Flagg is the best 19-year-old ever, and also that he would be better if he was as Wemby. We don't know that. B, we're watching them at face value. We're not watching them at what they would be. So I'll go. I'm going to give the edge to Chill here.
They did it. They knew it. I can see right through that argument.
All right. So for me, I won't tell you who I picked yet, but I'm going to say this. You brought up something about we're watching the greatest 19-year-old to ever play in the NBA, I believe is what the point you made was, Ori. And as much as I believe this is a layup, because this isn't even a debate who people would pay to see, this is just your fandom shining through. I think Jay Chilltown did miss an opportunity to say, yes, it is watching the best 19-year-old we've ever seen in the NBA versus seeing what might be the greatest player to ever play in the NBA, seeing him play at the beginning of his career, because that's the potential that Wemby has, is to be like no debatable the best ever, because we've never seen a guy that there's a reason when you look at top 10 lists, everyone's top 10 list has at least half of them are bigs, because basketball is meant for bigs. So now you're putting a big with guard skills. As long as he stays healthy, there's really nothing stopping this kid. So that being said, even though he missed that opportunity, he did make a lot of better points about which one. So You get the clean sweep. That's 3 dings for Chilltown Hoops. Appreciate you.
Greatest 19-year-old is crazy though. That's what I said. I still think LeBron by a good margin. And I want to say, I think like
that's your fandom coming through.
No, that's just facts. But also, I think Shaq in his rookie year was far more impressive than Wemby. I know Shaq was older, but to me, Shaq at 7'1", being like 230 with that type of muscle and that body, to me, is more, 290.
He was
290.
He was 290 at the draft combine. He measured 6'11", 290.
That's crazy.
And 6% body fat.
That body moving the way he did in Orlando, to me, is more impressive than what Wemby's moving like in San Antonio. I'll say, like, to me, Shaq his rookie year, like that physique, people that big with that much mass aren't supposed to move the way Shaq did. Like, you're just not supposed to do
Absolutely. That's so
all,
true.
All I know is that Jason Tatum literally made it to the finals and then won the finals multiple times when he was 19 years old. So, yeah, he's obviously the best 19-year-old ever.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna come back with I think Joe was up first, so Joe's gonna join us and tell us what his topic is and who he's debating. Guys, don't forget, you don't have to do it alone. You could go 5-on-1. Literally, if there's 6 people up here, you go 5-on-1. The world is your oyster.
What's up, sports fans? Chill here. And I'm Fluent. We're bringing you all the Sports Fluent merch you need. Tees, hoodies, hats, mugs, gear made for the conversation. Just hit sportsfluent.com/merch.
Super dope. Merch.
All right.
Yo.
Joe is in the building.
Yo.
Well, my topic is it was going to be Ant and D Mitch, and then literally the first topic today was Ant versus D Mitch. So I decided to go.
That it was be Ant and D Mitch, the exact same
My
one.
bad.
Literally going to be. I did it already for last week, but I'm going to go somewhere a bit different. I'm going to say Jaylen Brown deserves the MVP. I'm of course going to be for it, and against I'm going to choose Fluent and Ori as well. So 2v1.
2v1, okay, and we are Ori and I are arguing what point?
So it's gonna hit Ori. You're gonna be arguing that Jaylen Brown does not deserve the MVP.
That he shouldn't
be that good.
Okay.
That
All right.
deserve it.
I love it. How that's nice, real nice.
All right. So as our guest, would you like to go first?
I like to see you guys go first. Actually, I like to see you guys go first.
Okay. Ori. After you.
recording this.
Well, just to start things off, he plays for one of the worst franchises in the sport.
Jaylen Brown.
Yes, clearly. No, I think it's just too many guys up top. If we're being honest with ourselves, at the end of the day, there's too many guys that fit too many categories that Jaylen Brown doesn't necessarily check. Yes, he fulfills the narrative category, but pound for pound, stat for stat, there are guys that are doing it better. Luka probably has a better case. SGA probably still has a better case. Nikola Jokic still has probably a better case. I'll let Fluent take over from here, but those are just a few of the guys that I think have more solid case.
Well, when we look at MVP, part of it is stats, part of it is narrative, and winning matters. Where your team kind of sits matters. And so to kind of piggyback on Ori's point, Jaylen Brown is doing a lot of good things. However, when you look at, you said there's guys ahead of him, so there's a ladder that he has to jump. So it's not that he just that I can make a case, because I can say, well, SGA is I think second leading scorer. He's the most efficient player in the league. He has his team at number 1 in the West, definitely the tougher division, right? Like, why is Boston exceeding expectations? Because they're in the East. They're in the East, and the East is broken, guys. I'm not saying it's not competitive. I'm not saying it's trash, but the East is broken, right? Like, so he's number 1A, 1B that he is with Jason Tatum is gone. So he's getting extra looks, extra stats, which is kind of inflating what his numbers look like, but he's also in a weaker conference. So there's a guy like SGA that's just better and putting up better numbers and has his team in a better position in a tougher conference. Then the only thing that's stopping Jokic really from still being the MVP again is probably, is he going to play enough games? Because I think if he only misses one. So Jokic is a better playmaker, does everything better than Jaylen Brown. I'm out of time. Go ahead. It's tough when we only have 30 seconds each. That's tough. All right.
I know, right?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about how Jaylen Brown and also the expectations for the Boston Celtics. I think all of us expected Boston Celtics to be in the lottery. We didn't expect them to even be a playing team. The majority of us, at least. Maybe one or two was like, Boston's got a good chance. We're going to talk about the MVP, most valuable player. Hear that right? The valuable, most valuable. I think if Jaylen Brown is out of that Celtics team for, let's say, 3 to 4, 5 weeks, Boston has a serious decline in performance and wins. Whereas if Shea, and I understand Shea and Jokic still have big impacts, I'm more arguing about Jokic being valuable than SGA, because I think SGA has great teammates. He still has Chet Holmgren. He still has J-Dub. He still has Hartenstein, who I also know is quite injury prone as well. But Jaylen Brown, no one expected this at all. And also, out of the two guys you just mentioned, he's played the most games as well. And I always say that availability is the best ability. The fact that you can be available every game, the fact that you can do back-to-backs, the fact that you can also be part of this team night in and night out regardless. I love this guy so much because he brings all his effort every single game. He also adds a lot into his playmaking, which we didn't see from last season. And also the plays around him, which is now he's getting the Ron Harpers and Baylor Shimons. Now we're seeing these guys perform better. And I'm not saying all because Jaylen Brown, but he's now playing a bigger part in seeing the younger guys coming up and playing a lot better to the NBA standards, which we didn't even expect seeing these guys be playing, especially with Jordan Walsh, who did have also had a great start of the NBA season, who did have a decline, but he still played absolutely superb. And I think Jaylen Brown has been part and have been a great leader for the Celtics roster as well, excluding the big loss of Jason Tatum. Now, I don't know how much time I've got left, but I want to say that quickly.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Okay, more than enough time because I'm talking too quick. Jaylen Brown has been a walking 30 points for the past few games. He's averaging 29.2 points a game. I'm going to round it up. I'm being nice and say 30 points. I think this guy, on most days, he's consistent as well, which some guys sometimes can be inconsistent. I don't really see an inconsistent part of Jaylen Brown, especially this season. And of course, it's been his peak season as well.
Had you made any points, that I didn't give to you Tuesday on Fluent and Chill, I would have conceded the debate. But since all you did was regurgitate everything that I said, you cannot win this way. And yes, I'm going to call you out because that's what you just did. That being said, you've got guys like SGA, like I said, who statistically are better. Their teams are in better position. You've got a guy, Nikola Jokic, who is averaging a triple-double, and by all of us, we all know the greatest player in basketball today. So yes, although MVP isn't just the best player, we do need to acknowledge that he is a better player. You then have a guy in Victor Wembanyama who is as good offensively and better defensively. So if you want to talk about the two-way players, and there's another guy in his conference who's also super valuable to his team. If you take Cade Cunningham off the Detroit Pistons, they're not the number one seed in what's going to be soon, if not already, number one in the NBA. So not only do you have three guys from the tougher conference who are putting up better numbers, are better offensively, are better defensively, but you have a guy in your own conference that's doing it right in front of your eyes to your team in front of you better than you. There's too many people for Jaylen Brown to leapfrog to be the MVP, and that's why he can't be that guy. He's great, awesome season, just not good enough.
All right, or you got like 15 seconds, by the way.
Boom. Oh.
I was just trying to
Oh, yeah. If you want to call it, that's fine too. Unless you want at least got a couple things.
He had the time. I figured I just went up to boom. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I rebuttal or is that done?
Yeah. You got 15 seconds to go.
Okay, 15 seconds, they're quick. The fact you can't use the East as a way to prove your point. The East has still got a Cavs, who last season was just a 60-win team. The Celtics, who now was meant to be up there, which they now aren't because Jason Tatum's injury. By the way, if Cade Cunningham still has Jalen Duren, probably one of the best centers in the East right now. So it's not acting like this guy hasn't got good teammates. He's probably got one of the best centers in the East, which you want to call out about saying the East is a bad conference, which it's not. It's still NBA level, and he's still got great teams in the East. Let's not try and exclude. And maybe it is the easier conference.
Not as good as the West.
It's still not as good as the West. But it's still a tough conference, regardless of whether you're in the East or the West. It's still a tough conference to being the first seed. And Jaylen Brown is in the second seed with guys who probably Cade Cunningham couldn't do it with. He couldn't do it with Derek White and Ron Harper and Baylor Shimon and Neemias Quaison and Vucevic. He couldn't do it. No one in the East could do it.
That's way more than 15 seconds, Chris.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to. Yeah, I get.
He was so excited by his argument. He was just like, "No." Just
I
keep
didn't even
going.
bring up Luka Doncic. Damn it, the real MVP. Let's go, Lakers. All right, all right, judges. Why don't I get to be
Fluent? Fluent. Up until you said Luka Doncic, I was going to give you guys.
Yeah.
100% right there. Come on, what are we doing here? But no, but in all seriousness, Joe, yeah, obviously, yeah. Like I love me some Jaylen Brown prop for sure. And you came with the receipts. You gave him his flowers. Love to hear that. But I think the biggest thing that you forgot is you forgot to address the actual points as far as it goes for debating why he deserves it over the best players in the league. Fluent and Ori, they mentioned, okay, so at the end of the day, Wemby, Jokic, Shea, they're having better individual seasons on while playing in a tougher conference. They mentioned Cade was the better record. You just talked about how great Jaylen Brown was the entire time, which I love, but not for this debate. So I'll give the edge to Fluent and Ori.
If you had Ori and Chris as judges, Joe, I just want you to know you probably would have won.
I know. I don't know why.
That's why I threw Ori down here.
You
The
should
game
put
plan was
down here.
you put Jalen in this spot, you're winning.
And the game plan was that Audi would be there to kind of like bring the argument down a little bit because he's Celtics fan. So I'm hoping he makes big bad points. So I can like try and get a one up on him.
And then he kicks it off by saying the worst franchise in NBA history.
I like the strategy.
Yeah, all right, chill.
Come on, chill.
Oh, I'm gonna go with the two guys at the bottom. It was a lot of
Oh
fandom
my
in there.
god.
That's what it sounded like to me. A lot of fandom and not a lot of facts. And
And did he say anything that I didn't say when you and I had this conversation?
That's so unfair, by the way.
that's what it sounded like.
I'm just you can't talk about something the day before. No matter what you say, whatever I say, it's still the truth. I didn't get it off you. I did. I hear it off you, yes, but I didn't get it fully off you. That's
Shout out Joe for watching.
He had it on the fully court at the end.
You gotta know your audience. He just pulled the same trick on me in the first debate where he said, "Well, you don't care about stats. Now you care about stats," and they fell for it.
Yeah, I'm a look that Fluent rebuttal saying, "Hey, you basically just listen to our show, got every point right." But I do agree with what Chris and Chilta said. It was a lot of fandom. I do like the points, Joe. I mean, the points were right. I think Jaylen Brown, like you said, a guy like Jordan Walsh. I do think Jaylen Brown's play has helped a guy like Jordan Walsh play really well this season. So I do think that was a good point. But I think Fluent and Ori just said more, with other candidates too. So
Appreciate you, Joe. Appreciate you.
Joe, always,
man.
Shout out, Joe. Appreciate you, brother. Next up is we go from Joe to John. And I don't know what is John is. I think if I recall here, John is debating point guards. John Stockton versus Chris Paul. Who's the better point guard? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I told you I'd get a good one for you.
That's a good one.
I told you.
It's a battle.
So I want to take Paul because I want to give you Stockton because, make it a little easier for you, Fluent.
Oh, it's me? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
One-on-one?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, do you want to join in, Chill? If you want.
I don't want nothing to do with this. Nothing.
Why not, Chill?
Because I'm gonna destroy you. That's why I don't.
He said you ain't waiting.
This is coming. By the way, this is the same guy who lost our very first debate. I just want to make that point.
Of course, because we're talking about football is your wheelhouse. I mean, I talk football, but basketball is where I
You also
live.
get the Tom Brady side, of course.
Talk about Tom Brady and Joe Montana. Give me a break.
It'd be a lot more embarrassing than if absolutely. You know what? Screw this. I want Fluent and Chill.
I like it.
I'm taking both.
I like
He
this.
wants the
Screw
smoke.
this. I'm taking both because Chill's talking a lot of craziness.
All right.
All right, you guys can start first. I'll let you guys go first. Stockton versus who's the better point guard?
Actually, you go first. You are the prosecution, so it's your job. This is your job.
I rescind my time, Judge, or Your Honor, I guess.
So,
But then you only get the 15-second rebuttal if you turn down your 3 minutes.
No, I mean I want you guys to go first, but if you guys want, I can go first.
fine.
Yeah, you go first. You're a guest. We'll be nice.
Bet. Perfect. So I think that this isn't even a conversation. I think that Chris Paul clearly is the better player. I think in every single facet of both offense and defense, Chris Paul is better than John Stockton. Chris Paul was significantly better at defense. He was significantly better significantly better at perimeter defense, interior defense, off the ball, on the ball. I think that Chris Paul was a lot better in the passing lanes than John Stockton was. I think that anything offensively, Chris Paul is better than Stockton at. He clears as a mid-range shooter, clears as a ball handler, clears. I'm not going to say clears as a passer and playmaker, but I do think he is a better passer and playmaker. I think he's a better finisher than John Stockton, and I absolutely think that he's a better shooter and scorer of the basketball than John Stockton was. You want to talk about somebody like Chris Paul, who didn't have anywhere near the talent range that Stockton had in his prime, where you could just get to farm an MVP player constantly, where I have a stat actually that more than half of his assist count came off of Karl Malone. That's not going on with Chris Paul, where he has to distribute at a much more egalitarian level, where he has to get more people involved, guys who just aren't on the same caliber of players that John Stockton had. And I think that especially when it came to postseason performance, Chris Paul is better. You see this where his defense bumps up, his scoring bumps up, and his assists bump up. I think that the difference between all right, I understand my time. I think I've already made my point.
Are you sure that you good?
I'm good, chill.
Okay.
All
So
right,
we'll start with the defense. So Chris Paul is better off the basketball. He's better in the passing lane. He's better off the basketball. He's better in the pass lane. He's better in the gaps. That's interesting coming from the all-time steals leader in NBA history. This is what the all-time steals leader does. He digs. He shoots gaps. He's great off the basketball. In fact, that's where he got most of his steals from, playing off the basketball, shooting gaps, digging in the post. That's number one. Number two, you brought up a very interesting point about him having Karl Malone. I don't know if you noticed, but when he got Karl Malone, he wasn't Karl Malone. He turned into Karl Malone later on. And just like John Stockton wasn't John Stockton. It wasn't like he got Malone in year 7 or year 8. He got Malone as a rookie. And John Stockton was in year 1. So they grew up together, showing each other how to play. Let's not make it look like they was on a bomb squad right from the door. Let's discuss this bucket getting thing that you talk about. This bucket getting thing that you talk about changed when Jerry Sloan got the job. Because before Jerry Sloan got the job, they played at a faster pace. Not only did they play at a faster pace, John Stockton was a bucket getter. Not only was he a bucket getter, he's the same dude who put 20 and 20 on Magic, not once, but twice in the playoffs he did that to Magic, putting 20 and 20 on him, and almost scored 20,000 points. When the pace of the game slowed down because of the offense, I'm telling Tony, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but when the pace of the offense slowed down, that's when they started running the offense more through him. So getting guys like Jeff Malone more involved in the offense, getting guys like Karl Malone more involved in the offense, Thurl Bailey more involved in the offense, and becoming more of a point guard. And just so you know, when they started tracking mid-range jump shots, John Stockton was shooting well over 40% from 10 to 15 feet, well over 45% from 10 to 15 feet. He had a money mid-range game, and he could shoot the long ball. I don't know if you remember this, but he ended the Houston Rockets season in 1997 in the Western Conference Championship. Series over. We're going to the NBA Finals. They're going home.
I'll just add on a little bit because you nailed so many things perfectly. I don't want to ruin it, but to say he's a better shooter when statistically John Stockton better from the field, better from 3. Then you say half of his assists were to Karl Malone. There was a study. There's absolutely no one who went and watched every single game and counted those assists because that wasn't tracked back then. So that is just fictitious. Throw it out the window. And then you had the audacity to bring up the playoffs. What is the biggest against Chris Paul? He's always getting hurt and he doesn't show up in the playoffs. You never should have brought up playoffs. Playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs? No, he doesn't show up in the playoffs. That's his biggest knock. So all the things you said. Oh, and by the way, what does a point guard supposed to do? There are 2 main functions throughout the history, not the last 10 years, but throughout the first 65 years of the NBA: assists and steals. That's their role as a point guard. And remind me again who leads the NBA all time in assists and steals, 2 records that will never be broken. Oh, that's John Stockton.
Well,
Again,
I think that
right on time.
a lot of really good points were brought up, but I think a lot of them were ultimately irrelevant. You talked about Fluent. John Stockton had a significantly better field goal percentage on less shots, by the way. I find that interesting that you left out that nugget where somebody like Chris Paul is having 15 field goal attempts per game, and somebody like Stockton has 9. You're talking about 6 less shots a game. Of course, your numbers are going to look better. If I shoot 1 of 2 from 3, that's 50%. But if I shoot 4 of 10, that's 40%. I took a lot more shots. You see how the discrepancies are shown off a little bit more. So now we talk about somebody like John Stockton, because Chill brought up the point that, he had, Karl Malone in his rookie season and they grew up.
Keep going. Finish your point. Finish your point.
I can finish my point. Perfect. So you're talking about somebody like John Stockton who grew up with Karl Malone. I wonder if Chill can recount if Chris Paul ever had a player anywhere near the caliber of Karl Malone, somebody who was a consistent MVP winner or high MVP caliber player. He can't, because Chris Paul never had a player consistent like that. What Chris Paul did have was lesser players that he had. Oh,
John, your time's up. And let me just say this, Chill, I'll let you finish, but I just want one point to make, because much like Cheddar Bob, you just took your gun and shot yourself with your own gun in your own leg. To say that Chris Paul shot 6 more field goals per game, that's why his percentage is low, and ignore that with those 6 more shots a game, he only averaged 3 more points per game, that's a knock on Chris Paul. That is not a positive, my friend.
No, it's not.
Yes,
I have 7 seconds left.
And on top of that, the consistency, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. Okay, that's a you problem. And the fact that Blake Griffin got Chris Paul when he got him, and Blake Griffin ended up turning into, I think he was 3rd in MVP votes. So he ended up having a really good player in Blake Griffin. Still couldn't get to the Western Conference Championship. Meanwhile, John Stockton and Karl Malone, 5 times in 7 years, they was in Western Conference Championship. Meanwhile, he's got guys like DeAndre Jordan on his crew. Yeah, he's got guys sharpshooters like JJ Redick on his crew. He's got great rotation guys like Jamal Crawford on his crew. Still can't get out of the second round of the playoffs. Meanwhile, John Stockton, he's got Malone. He's got after Malone, he's got Brian Russell, who are lesser talented guys than these guys, and they're getting to the Western Conference Championship, and they're getting to the NBA Finals, and they're winning. Just so you know, I think that they've won. I think they're number 1 all time. I think they won over almost 600 games as a duo together when they grew up together. And as far as John Stockton being a bucket getter, as far as John Stockton being a scorer, you brought up 6 field goals. Chris, I don't know how your math works, Chris. That's 1 extra shot a quarter. Give me a break. What are we doing? That's 1 extra shot a quarter.
I mean,
all right. That's it.
All right.
That's a cut.
Yeah, that is a cut. So,
Our producer, you didn't see our producer come in and say you got to wrap it up. So, Junior's like,
it's that time.
Okay. So, if I'm being honest, I'm very much on the side of Chris Paul being better than John Stockton for a lot of the reasons that Joe laid out. But that being said, I'll say the Fluent and Shield did such a great job that I'm starting to second guess myself.
That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about.
Yeah. So between laying out the playoff success, between laying out the fact that they grew up together, and the longevity aspect. I don't really care for the all-time assists and steals record. Yeah, we've talked about that before on NBA Max, but yeah, like I'm definitely going to give the edge to the Fluent and Shield right here.
That was wild. That was the ferocity in which Fluent and
I was just waiting for Jay to say, you don't know how good John Stockton was. We could have clipped it, posted it.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to say that. That's why I chose this topic. I was waiting for Chill to say something like that.
That was needed.
You have no idea how good Stockton was. Oh my God.
I can't recreate that, just so you guys know. Like that
never. Yeah,
that's Michael Jackson moonwalking at the Motown 25th. Like he can't do that again. Like
before Ori says who he picks, I just want you to know, every time I walk into practice, my kids say, "Hey, coach, can you just give us one more day?"
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
I love it.
Whenever either the Celtics or the Mets are in an elimination game, that's the first thing I send to my group chat in the morning.
That's the best. You guys are. That's too funny. I gotta pick Fluent and Chill as well. Their ferocity, just no matter what they're arguing at that point, I was gonna go to that side because they were very intense for Stockton. So definitely going that way. But great arguments, man. That was. I think the CP3 argument is definitely one to be had.
Yeah, look, Joe. I mean, I liked how you countered the point with Chris Paul. John, sorry. John. I liked how you countered the point of Chris Paul taking more shots, so obviously that field goal percentage number is going to be down. Him taking 6 more shots. Fluent countered that with Chris Paul only averaging 3 more points with the 6 additional shots. That was a good counter too. I've seen Fluent and Joe debate John Stockton quite a bit, a few times now. It's one of those, and they don't lose. It's just one of those things where I like the eye test every time I watch Chris Paul. I think he's better too than John Stockton. But like when it comes to debating, it's hard. It's just I just think John Stockton just has more facts, more quantifiable data that support it.
Because he's the better player.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things where the numbers just paint that story, but it's one of those things where I think out of all the topics, I think Chill and Fluent do the best job in John Stockton debates. Other times they can be off or wrong, but when it comes to John Stockton, even though I don't rate them as high as these two, they do a very good job of debating it. It's the one topic
I just wish I could have seen them more, to be honest with you. I wish we had League Pass and ESPN and NBA TV and
Listen,
all of this stuff. I wish I could have seen Stockton.
If you ask me personally, I have Stockton better. I just know that that's like something that Fluent and Chill debate a lot. So I wanted to get you guys on that.
I'll say this: there was no league pass. And I'm not suggesting I watched a lot of Utah Jazz games, but we had a satellite where you could like pick up local, so we could watch Utah Jazz games on their local network, and we never did because it was the Jazz. That being said, you guys don't know this, but this is why I probably have seen more John Stockton than probably anybody else here combined, or everybody else here combined, is because Mrs. Fluent's favorite team is the Jazz. And we're talking 90s Jazz.
Really?
So, yeah. So we watched, and we've grown up together. We knew each other since we was 4 years old. So I watched more than I ever wanted to watch of the Utah Jazz. So he was that good. Like, we don't give him credit because we see this like dude that looks like an accountant, and you just don't expect it.
Fluent, do you have Stockton on your top 5 all-time PGs?
Yeah.
I know you do, Chill. I know you
easily. Yeah,
you absolutely do. Do you have a top 5 passer?
Yeah.
Tone actually made a video to show you goofballs out there in internet land that he wasn't a basic passer, which is what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks he was just dumping the ball into Malone.
Chill, your coworker. What do you Chill? Your coworkers, Chill, at the panel don't believe that. Everybody else, other than Big Malone.
John Stockton's a generational thing. It's a generational thing. A lot of people.
John Stockton is so good. John Stockton. Remember, there's this old saying, right? The devil's biggest trick, or whatever, I'm going to paraphrase, was that to make you believe he didn't exist. John Stockton was such a good passer that he made the incredible pass look easy that you didn't realize it was an incredibly hard pass.
Basic. No, it wasn't.
I will tell.
That one arm full court pass that he did.
This is the challenge. Every single one of you watching, listening, whatever. This is all I want you to do. I want you to go put a trash can, a bucket, whatever, on a chair. Okay, down at the low post on the low block. Okay, a garbage can. So this big. Okay, and I want you to go from half court, dribble full speed,
and hit it.
Full speed to your strong hand. Go full speed from your right. Okay, and as you cross the nail, okay, right in between the 3-point line and half court. Nail is the middle of the court, for those that don't know basketball terms. As you hit the nail, without using your left hand, dribble full speed, and then just either throw it or bounce past it and see if you can get it into that garbage can. And when you miss 10 times in a row, I'll tell you, John Stockton did it 10 times in a row. Something you could not do
for like 12 straight years.
That's how, and that's just an example to show you that's how good he was, that you guys think, oh, that's easy. He's literally the Steph Curry of passing, because you guys all think you can go shoot logo threes at 40% like Steph because he makes it look so easy. And the reality is you can't.
You can't.
Well, not only that, we don't even see today be able to do what Stockton did back then. They don't know how to do passes. Point guards today do not know how to pass it to their big man. They don't know how to do that. Stockton used to do that with no issues.
You had brought up Mrs. Fluent. That's when I actually got to see Stockton, because that's when I moved out to Utah. So that's when I got to see him. He was in like year 9 when I got to see him more. I would love to have seen him when he first got to Utah and when he was growing up there. Like by year 9, like I'd like to have seen him in 88, 89, and 90 more than I did in like 93. Like at that point, he was in year 9.
You went to Utah in the 90s, show?
I did. Yes, sir.
That must have been something. Utah in the 90s.
In the early 90s, too. It wasn't just the 90s. It was the early 90s. It was a very interesting experience. No internet. Cable TV wasn't what it was.
No internet. With those more
look like me. Like
I'm going to say it. A lot of white hoodie folks in Utah, man.
I got a question for you. Do you think that there were some seasons back in the 80s where you legitimately could have a good case that Stockton was the best PG in the league? where like he was actually giving Magic work.
91. I
In
give it.
the,
I
in the
give it.
80s, no, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, there's no way it
91.
was Magic Johnson.
91 was probably from 88 to 91. He had a stretch from 88 to 91. This is peak John Stockton, where he was 17 and 14 on a 6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Like that's goofy. That's goofy. Like guys don't do that.
I will say this. He's the only other point guard in NBA history to average double-digit assists for his career and significantly less. And I hate to say this for my guy Magic because you know he's my favorite player. Significantly less turnovers. So like,
I think his assist to turnover ratio for his career is like close to 4-to-1
yeah,
for his
it's
career.
insane.
I'm pretty sure the Chris Paul's better though, if I'm mistaken.
Who's the closest player to John Stockton stylistically that you've seen since?
Like these dudes, when they say stuff to me like TJ McConnell, I'm ready to jump out the window.
That's just a white
TJ McConnell.
I
That's
really
racist.
can't. Like, yo, TJ McConnell can do what John Stockton. You have no idea.
The closest I've seen to John Stockton since John Stockton is Chris Paul.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's exactly why.
That's the comparison.
Yeah.
That's the
I think
comparison.
I mean, I might say Chris Paul's more Isaiah Thomas.
John, good to talk to you, brother.
Appreciate you,
man.
Good one, guys. It was nice talking to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whew.
Good stuff.
That's another good one in the books. As we always do at the end of any show that has Chilltown Hoops on it. As we always do with any show that has.
Hey, you know what? I've got this water.
That was your cue, my guy. That was your cue to say water, call your mother.
That is my cue, but I'm
Is it because of music? My bad. Here, let me turn on the music.
there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. Y'all know what it is. That right there, my co-host, that's Fluent right there. Chill, that's me right there. We do this every Tuesday and Wednesday night. You know who the fellas are. That's Jalen, that's Ori, that's Chris. We do this every Tuesday and Wednesday night. We will see you guys soon. Thanks for joining us. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When is the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. We'll talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light. But take
Thanks for watching Fluent versus Chill versus everyone. Special thanks to Sports Fluent, Chilltown Hoops, Hoop Social, All American Hoops, and Jalen Carter Music.